today to tell you about one of my favorite techniques. It's called Foundation by the Yard. It comes from Benartex, and it's an awesome product. It's been around a long time. It's a lot like paper piecing. So stick with me. I'm going to show you how quick and easy you can make a quilt. And it's JudyHansenDesigns.com if you have any questions. As you can tell, I'm outside on my beautiful patio today, so we may have some windy weather, but we're going to have some fun. Foundation by the Yard comes in a panel form. Each panel will make a quilt about this size. The one I'm going to show you first, this one is called Square by Square. Many of you probably recognize it. Look how perfect those points are. I'm here to tell you, I try to be a perfectionist, but I like a little help. And the help with this, there's a line that you sew on. And so here we have, this one is called Square by Square. All right. And this one, who doesn't love Crazy Patch? I like this one because you can do so many different things with it. You could put a photo in the center. I made a memory quilt for my mother. I also made an Elvis quilt with this pattern. I put Elvis photos all over it with fabric sheets. So this one's really nice for a memory quilt. The next one, my grandmother taught me to sew, so I can't say enough about grandmother's fan. It's a beautiful block, easy. The patterns come with full instructions, what size you cut the pieces, how to conserve on your fabric, and how to get that quilt done in a fraction of the time. And this one is called Strings. This one I really like. It's a great one to begin with, and if you want to make your quilts a little bit bigger, just add a focus fabric block, and there you go, you've made it bigger. These are done with Foundation by the Yard for Benartex. The first foundation I'm going to show you today is Foundation by the Yard for Prairie Braid. Braid is out there everywhere right now in quilts, in table runners, in wall hangings, so I thought what better way to show you how you can just take a portion of the panel and make something really, really nice for the home. And isn't home deck really nice? I mean, you can give it for gifts or anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your package and you're going to take out your directions. And I usually cut them apart like this. Sometimes I even cut them in sections and staple them to a little booklet or piece of paper. So I get my directions. And it's really nice because every single foundation includes directions for you particular to that panel. So you can't go wrong even if you try. All right, then you're going to, I set that aside. Then the next thing you're going to do, this one comes in sets of braids. So here's your braid. You've probably seen this design before. And so I took my braid. It tells you to cut, let's see, on this one, it tells you how many, that there's 7 strips included. You can make this into a wall hanging. You can put the braids different ways. And they also tell you, on this one, I'm going to cut my pieces 2.5 by 5. Well, that's a jelly roll size right there, isn't it? So you could also use a jelly roll. This is very jelly roll friendly. And so now I've got all my pieces cut. I chose this beautiful collection from Krista Watson. Isn't it yummy? I just love those fabrics. And I also combined it with a batik. So it blends well with, you can mix batiks, you can mix different fabrics, and that's in large part to the stabilizing effect of sewing it on a foundation. So now I've got it all ready. I've got my pieces. If you don't have one of these cool spinner racks, treat yourself to one. They make it really nice for paper piecing because you can just turn it to the one you want to use. Okay, so I've got everything ready. I've got my fabrics prepared. I would say this lends itself to those of us that are very orderly. All right, so I'm going to show you how I made this cute little mug rug. You can have it any way you want. So I can actually make, I think I figured 4 of these from one strip. That's pretty cool, right? So you don't have, and the panels run between $12 and $15 depending on the size. So here we go. So what I did is I took my panel, and paper piecing, I'm going to do some more videos on it. Just do what it says and it'll make sense eventually. You actually position your fabric on the back and then you flip it over to sew on this line. Just think of it as putting 2 pieces of fabric together to sew, but you then put a guide sheet on top and sew along that line. Can't say enough about the tools for paper piecing. They really make it easy. So I'm going to take this piece, I'll position one, just so you get the hang of it here. I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to lay it on the common line, have it butt the common line, that's what I like to say. So the common line between 1 and 2, I'm going to put it right like this, between 1 and 2. And here you see there's that line. We're going to move it up about 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to lay my next piece on there. All right. So I would lay the next piece on it, put a little pin in there to hold it in position. And I really like that they have anything with an angle, you want it cut nice and big. So then I'm going to stitch it. I turn it over. Can you see how if you stitched on that line, it would actually go through to the back and catch that whole seam? So let me show you what happens. Once you do that, your back ends up looking beautiful. Your seams are hidden inside the sandwich, and it's all ready to go. So all I did for this, I took 2 of them, I cut them down to 10 inches. So I got 4 strips from that. Then I sashed it with a little piece of batik. Added some binding, some free motion quilting on it, or you can do grid quilting, or you can stitch in a ditch. There it goes, and it's all done. So this is Prairie Braid, love it. What supplies do you need for foundation? Pretty much your regular sewing supplies. I love my flathead pins and my long thin clover pins. Your regular piecing thread, I use a neutral color, grays, beige, whatever works. A ruler. I like the small rotary cutter, but the 45mm is good too. Regular scissors, seam ripper. That's about it. A lot of people like the, and I had it here a minute ago, and I use it, the 1/4 inch ruler, so it's good to have the 1/4 inch ruler. Spinner mat if you got one. Treat yourself to it. Foundation by the yard. Check it out. I have it on the website, and you're going to love it. Thank you. Bye-bye.